Hello and welcome to this video. This video is a video about basically, you may have seen recently, I made a video, it's like a recap or slash review of Freelancer Season 1. It's a video series, TV series, I guess, by the former comedians from Studio C, and now they formed their own thing called JK Studios. Basically, the question I'm asking is, did they do a bit of fraud? Legal fraud, by the way. Of course, the problem in business on the internet is that oftentimes the way when they say, "Oh, you give us money," idea is that they phrase things in a certain way so that it's not technically fraud, but the only reason it's not fraud is because they phrased it in a certain way when they made the offer to you. So it's like, well, you knew the offer, and it's this: they asked for $1 million and they got it to make videos. And they did make the videos, except the thing was, the $1 million was in return for a portion of the profit. Now, the portion of profit they say is 120%. The problem is, is that when you say you want 125,000 quid to make a video, you have to ask, when it comes to that profit, well, if you just keep putting up your salary, then you'll make less profit. Also, it kind of implies you'll make your $1 million back, which is interesting. Yeah. It's just a bit weird, isn't it? The idea of like, you'll get your money back. Okay, but if I get my money back, how are you able to? It's like, if are you able to do that? Well, they didn't say that you would get your money back, though. They said if we earn enough for distribution revenue, you would earn 120%. Yeah, well, that's very dodgy. But what happens if you make 500% over in profit? Now you're only going to pay me 120%? You're basically saying to someone, okay, you give us money, and then if we get enough money, we'll pay you 120%. Keep in mind, we control our salaries, meaning if we make enough money, we can just flatly increase our salaries, and of course, that means the profit drops. So, yeah. Before the creators' revenue, before the creators receive any profits, yeah. Well, that depends. What do you mean, company or salary? If I work for a company and I decide, oh, I want to increase my salary, that means the company's profits will be lower. So that'll be before the company gets profits. But it is after the company gets revenue, which isn't really how profit and revenue works. As in, the whole idea is profit is revenue minus costs. You're implying that you take the revenue minus the costs, then take that profit, and then go, here's your cut. That is a problem. This has been a problem online with a lot of things. There was a YouTube channel before that tried to sell part of it. Well, guess what? They were kind of doing a little bit of like legal fraud there as well, because they were telling their the viewers, oh, with your investment, you'll earn a portion of the profits. Of course, you know, that'll be a portion which is not what it's worth, though. You're saying this is worse, of course. With this, they're saying, okay, so you give us money, we make the show, we pay ourselves and the other people involved, and then, if there's enough money left, we'll pay you 120%. But only if there's enough money left to pay you that. We will control how much money is left. I mean, obviously, within reason. Like, they can't, if it doesn't make 10 million, they can't exactly, take 10 million. But anyway, you know what I mean. But also, even if it makes more money and they don't take that, well, they're only promising you 120%. So you're not getting a good return anyway. And as well as that, your return is basically like, if we make enough profits, which you control, and even if you don't. So basically, I think that this is a very dodgy situation here. It really, really is. Really, really is. It's a very dodgy situation, and I feel like this is kind of concerning that they say, 2,747 people. Like, an asterisk there. So, yeah. So, like, that's a bit dodgy, isn't it? This idea of like, oh, I'm the owner, but you're not though. You don't own the company. You don't own the intellectual property. You are being promised, if there's enough profits left, that you'll get a return. But you're not being promised returns. You're just being promised the potential returns. And they control whether those returns are possible. I feel like this is like, this is really a dodgy thing. You know? This this is really a very dodgy thing. Up to. Like, this is not typically how an investment works. People don't say, oh, by the way, if we make more money than projected, you will not make additional money. No. Like, what exactly is that style? Yeah, we're gonna sell a portion of the profits and you'll get basically 20% plus your initial investment. But, no more. Like, it's. And then here you have, so. It's like, first of all, some companies will demand exclusive ownership, so it's very dodgy to be like, yeah, we'll set to multiple different people. It's like, it's also very dodgy thing that they're like, oh, the potential to sell it to other people. We don't have any agreements to sell to them. We have the potential. I feel like this is I'm not saying this is intentional fraud, but like, it's not a good sign when it's like, each country has its own security laws. So, like, that feels as if it's like, okay, unfortunately, other countries know this is property fraud. Unlike the US, where the laws are a lot laxer, so we are only really able to do it here because if we were to do it globally, we could get like criminal prosecutions. So yeah, it's not great. Just not great. The fact that like £1 million is a lot of money. Keep in mind, that's a lot of money. So if you were to be like, okay, well, you have to give a show because that's what people are investing in, but once you do that, it's kind of like basically up to you where that £1 million goes, whether it's to be spent on production, things like cameras and stuff like that, or into the people who run this, TV show, video series, their pockets in return for their acting and all that, It's not great. Also, it's not great that they formed a single company just for this one project. That seems weird. It's like a bit concerning to me that like that's what people do when they know that their company might be in some financial trouble. So like, well, let's make sure that if this bit of like potential fraud goes to court, we can just sink this company and we'll have our backup or our actual company to do it to. It just feels to me like it's very bad, and I feel like I probably should say this because you know, it's not great. It's not great. It doesn't look great, and I know this was a long time ago, but I just feel like as I basically like I wouldn't I'm not like I'd say platformed in a way like that. I feel like I probably should make it clear that they're not necessarily good. I'm not saying they did commit fraud or are committing fraud in the legal sense. Obviously, all of this not legal fraud. Okay, we're talking about this is all of this is legal. It's just loopholey, if you know what I mean. All of this is legal, to make this very clear. But just feels like I probably should make it clear because I feel very concerned that I'm gonna platform something which is not that great. Anyway, thanks for watching. But yeah, that's me. Goodbye once again, and yeah.